Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with your match reaction to Aston Villa 0, Juventus 0 in the Champions League. Make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 5,000 subscribers. You can do it. Get your comments in as well, your thoughts on the game. I'm recording on Thursday morning after watching the game on repeat after I was out last night, so needed to watch it on repeat. Watch the full game though, and look, Aston Villa, I have to say, were robbed of that victory right at the death by a shocking refereeing decision. I cannot believe they got denied from just terrible decision. I can't see how that was a foul. Diego Carlos jumping up fairly with the goalkeeper, massive goalkeeping mistake, obviously kidded the ref, which was a sign of what Juventus did. Very canny team against the referee, but he bought it hook, line and sinker with all of those their players, and it was pretty obvious he was going to deny that goal at the end. But look, I thought it was a creditable performance from Aston Villa. I thought they probably just about shaded it in terms of intent and wanting to win without maybe having the quality that would have got them over the line. But yeah, that was a terrible decision, and Morgan Rogers denied sadly at the end there to snatch a victory for Aston Villa. But you know, it was a game of moments, I would say, rather than real quality. We had Ollie Watkins having a fantastic effort in the first half, which their goalkeeper made a great save off. And then we hit the bar with Luca Dean off a free kick. But barring that in the first half, there wasn't too much. And we knew what Juventus would come and do. We know how good they are at the back. We know the Italian sides, but Juventus are just absolutely supreme at it, shutting down space, getting blocks in, getting tackles in. And we just couldn't quite move the ball quickly enough, particularly in that first half, to engineer really too many openings. One or two little bits for Leon Bailey down that right-hand side, who looked a little bit sharper and seems to be getting a bit sharper every game. A couple of blocked efforts. Bailey had a blocked effort. John McGinn had a blocked effort. And really denying Juventus to shots from outside the box. Now, we know that they had lots of players injured. We know that they were a bit of a makeshift team, but you look at the way that they keep the ball, they pass every single time to the player's safe side. The weight of pass was excellent without them really threatening too much in terms of in behind. They've always got always keep you worried. They always keep you on your toes with the way that they pass. And Conceição was a constant thorn in Luca Dean's side, always looking threatening, and he was probably their main player. But going in at 0-0, you think, right, that's a platform to build on and really go for the game. And look, second half, Villa started with a bit more intent as well, had one or two good attacks down that right-hand side. Like I say, Leon Bailey looking much sharper and trying to beat his man. And then I guess the real two big moments of that second half before the disallowed goal, Emi Martinez, absolutely phenomenal save. How he kept that ball out is just incredible. And he really does step up at the moment in that Champions League. And corner to Juventus, flicked on, I think, slight flick on Diego Carlos, misses the header. It goes to the back post. I think Morgan Rogers is caught on his heels as well. Conceição heads it. Looks as if he's heading it into the bottom corner. But somehow Emi Martinez manages to dive to his right-hand side and claws it out just a tiny fraction before the ball goes fully over the line. And he keeps us at 0-0. And you know that if it had gone 1-0, Juventus would have shut up shop even more than what they have done and just managed the game out. And we would not have got back into it. That now kept it at 0-0. We knew we still had an opportunity to win that game. And the next moment was probably Leon Bailey has a really nice run down that right-hand side and jinks past two players this time in the box, goes on his right-hand side, goes down the outside, cuts the ball back, and McGinn is running in. You think, just put a decent connection on it. This time it's with his right foot. He tries to go across the goalkeeper, and a combination of the goalkeeper and Locatelli, who was excellent all game, manages to block it off the line, and Villa don't go 1-0 up. And then I guess we huffed and puffed, and we tried to bring John Duran on. We didn't really get him into the game. Ross Barkley came on and did quite well, as we know that he can do, and keeps the ball flowing. And Jadon Philogene came on the right, again, didn't really do anything. I still yet to see him really go after his man and try and beat his man. He really needs to think about his movement and give himself a space to have a run at his player and get some pace up, because at the moment he's receiving the ball standing still and he just can't go past anyone. He's not strong enough to do it. He needs to get some speed so that he can go past his man. And he didn't really do anything. But like I say, we kept going, we kept pushing. You know, we got a bit end-to-end at the end, but we had that killer chance right at the end. I think it was Tielemans puts a free kick in. Diego Carlos goes up for the header. The goalkeeper's in no man's land. He bounces down to Morgan Rogers, who's on hand, to put it into the net. Villa fans are celebrating. Morgan Rogers doesn't quite know whether to celebrate and do his trademark celebration. He kind of half does it. I think they all knew that, judging by how the referee had been all game, they kind of knew it would have been disallowed. But he blew his whistle. I don't know whether he blew his whistle for a foul. I don't know whether he blew his whistle to give the goal, and it was denied by VAR. You guys let me know in the comments. I think he blew for the foul straight away, and then was asking VAR to give a reason to give the goal. But yeah, we draw 0-0 and we get a point, and we're 9th in the table at the moment, level on points with I think 3 or 4 teams within the top 8, 10 points from the 5 games, which is really good. I think if you'd have asked Aston Villa fans after playing Bayern Munich and Juventus, obviously knowing that we could get the win against Bologna, but if those 2 games you said 4 points, I think we'd have absolutely taken it. Yes, Juventus had lots of players out. Yes, they were struggling, but you look at the pedigree they have in European competition, the tournaments that they've won, the Champions Leagues that they've won, the amount of Champions League games that they've played. Aston Villa, you know, haven't been in this competition in the Champions League in its form at all, and obviously been in European Cup competition, top level competition for 40 years. So for over 40 years. So for us to compete at that level, I think sometimes, yes, we can say on paper in terms of the squad depth and how many players we had at our disposal, you could say, yes, we should have maybe been winning that game. But in terms of pedigree, in terms of experience, in terms of know-how, we are absolute minnows. And to come away with a clean sheet, to come away with a point after that game, to take into the next 3, where we probably need 3 points to guarantee that playoff spot, and probably 6 points to guarantee the top 8. So RB Leipzig have lost every game so far, so that would be a game that we could definitely go into with some heart and really go after winning it. Celtic at home is a game that we should be, you know, really competing to win that game. Although Celtic have been quite good in European competition, that's going to be a fantastic game, but I would really back us to win that. And then Monaco away, they've kind of mixed bag with them. But we can definitely go into that game with confidence. So, look, I take heart from that. And there were some good performances. I think Boubacar Kamara was much, much better in that midfield for us. He gives license to Matty Cash to go forward. He gives license for Leon Bailey to be more relaxed about his game, not necessarily have to track back as much. He doesn't necessarily get involved in the game too much, but he's there as a screening. And you see Diego Carlos is a better and more secure player as well with Boubacar Kamara in that side. So he was a massive player for us yesterday. The only thing I would say about Kamara is we have those defensive qualities, but sometimes in terms of releasing the ball and sometimes picking up the ball under pressure, he can be a bit susceptible, and he can kind of not necessarily give that expansive pass as quick as maybe someone else would. But I think you have to take that defensive capability over all of that. I thought Bailey was better. I thought he was the player who had much more intent, and you could see him, that pace coming back into his game. So hopefully that'll start to increase, and we'll see goals and we'll see assists coming from him. I thought, as I say, I thought Diego Carlos was much better, much more assured, and that has a lot to do with Kamara being back in that side. And he was covering for Pau Torres, allowing him to go forward. Luca Dean and Maxi Cash, I thought, were very good at fullback as well. And that back four with Cash and Digne, you can tell that is our first choice back four. Obviously, Konsa in there for Carlos, and having that back will give us a hell of a platform to build from again. And you can just see the security that it gives our forward players. I thought McGinn was okay, and we started to see that bustling McGinn running forward. I just want to see him get that extra yard of pace and take that shot a little bit earlier. And Watkins worked hard, had a couple of chances. Maybe we could have seen him a little bit quicker, got him involved in the game a little bit quicker, but I thought he was better. But Morgan Rogers, I think, really does need a rest. And you could see he didn't quite have that spring in his step. He didn't quite have that burst of pace. And when he did get into areas where he could pass the ball off or have a shot, he just run out of gas. He couldn't really strike the ball properly. And that's a little bit of a worrying sign. So maybe it's a case of playing Ian Maatsen further forward on that left-hand side. Or maybe it's a case of, I don't know, giving Philogene a run out from the start, although I would be reluctant to do that. And hopefully Jacob Ramsey is anywhere near fit, because I think Morgan Rogers needs to be taken out of the firing line. He needs a rest. He probably should have had that rest in the international duty. He's obviously gone and been called up for the full England squad. But for me, Morgan Rogers is such a big player for us, and that attacking position in our front kind of 3 or 4 players is vital. And he at the moment isn't performing at the level that he should be. He's given the ball away, and like I say, he's lost that zip in his pace, but he will get it back. But at the moment, I think he's the kind of the weaker player in that front four, and it's really affecting us because he is so vital to what we want to do. But as I say, it was a much more encouraging performance. Obviously, Emi Martinez with a big save, and we've only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So we have to be encouraged by that performance, I believe. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. You know, drawing 0-0 against Juventus, clean sheet, another point. 2 draws in a row in all competitions now. Let's take that heart into the Chelsea game on Sunday. A couple of players hopefully further forward in their fitness. A couple of players, Boubacar Kamara with minutes, Ross Barkley with more minutes. So, look, players are coming back to fitness. Players are coming back into form. So it's a key time this December and Christmas period, and we really need as many players as we possibly can. That's it from me. Make sure you get in the comments. Make sure you smash the like button and hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 5K, and we want to hit it before Christmas. You guys can help us get there. So like, subscribe, and get your comments in below, your thoughts on yesterday's performance. We'll be back with potentially a full match reaction, obviously a Chelsea preview, also in the away end opposition preview as well. So loads of shows to come. So stay with the channel. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.